touched on the military life, right? And you
Mhm.
that you're in the military. How was that experience? Because I have a lot of respect for people joining the military because it doesn't, from the images and the people I've talked to, it
Mhm.
doesn't seem to be an easy life
Yeah.
at the very least. So how was that for you? How was that experience going through the military for you?
For me, I have a saying, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I was just I have an episode going up tonight with one of my former military friends, and I was just watching it, going through it, editing and everything. So I have this saying like fresh in my head, and what it is for me is that the military does not develop character; it reveals it. And so, what it taught me about myself is that I am capable of a lot more things than I think I am, but I am also I can find moments of weakness and then lean into them if I am not put in the right situation. So, going back to what I said before, it gives you a lot of opportunities to really analyze yourself if you take them. A lot of us will avoid them because it's really painful to look at yourself and look at your flaws and go, "Man, I can't believe that's who I am. I need to work on that." So for me, the military was great because what it did is gave me an immense amount of opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise. It changed my life in so many beautiful ways, including the wherewithal to go when I was doing my second enlistment. I'm like, this is my last enlistment. I need to get out. I am not for the military lifestyle anymore. It's detracting more than it's giving me. And also, I'm not the person the military needs. At some point, I'm going to start taking more than I'm giving, and I don't need to do that either to something that's helped my life so much. So it really just gave me a great experience of dealing with people that I never would have met before from like all different walks of life. You meet people who have so many different perspectives, and it teaches you how to just exist in that world with those people and then work with them and to understand them and to not just take the experience you had growing up and then force it upon other people. So it's very tough lifestyle. At any given moment, you can be sent anywhere around the world, away from your family, away from your friends, away from everything put in harm's way. There's a lot of stress with it day to day. And then it's the only job that I'm aware of, or one of the only jobs, I should say, that I'm aware of where I can't just quit. You know what I mean? Like, if I tried to quit the military, I'm AWOL. I'm going to get dishonorable discharge and I'm going to get put in federal prison. You know what I mean? So, like, you really have to stick things out. It also pushes you in that way because you're like, I can't just leave this. I don't have that opportunity. I need to do things in such a way that I can prepare myself to leave in 3 to 4 years. And so you don't just get to do the type of spontaneous behavior that you may see some other people do. And I think that's really develops you a lot because now you understand patience. You understand how things aren't necessarily as bad as they seem and that you can get through this. And so you can just develop a lot more of that personality than I think the average person would have.
And I like how you put it that you said that it reveals character and doesn't develop it because there's some people that the army may the army lifestyle seems like it's very disciplined, right? Very methodical, very revealing. And you're right. There's some people that they're made for, right? They're built for that lifestyle. And I look at like military officers, army, navy seals, whatever the whatever officer, whatever branch they are, and it's like it reminds me of the main, the most the strongest definition of like what a family community is,
Mhm.
right? Because you have people, like how many of us can honestly say that they would die for their friends or for their family, right? But you're in a situation when you're in the military, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you may be in that situation where you have to go save your comrade, you have to save your officer, you have to save your colleague, you have to save your friend. And I love that it reveals that in people that someone is willing to go the distance, whatever that distance may be, up into their life for you. Is that an accurate experience of what the army is, of what the military is?
Sure. And so just to clarify for anybody, so I don't get in trouble with my brethren later, but I was Air Force. That's the branch that I was in. And I didn't serve in combat positions. To your point, that's what you may be called upon to do because as I was just saying before, I had that podcast and we were kind of going through some of these things. If you get sent to Afghanistan, those mortars are coming over the wall. It doesn't matter what your job is. You're in a live active zone where they're trying to kill you. And that happens all the time. And that's Bagram Air Air Force Base is the biggest one, but there's a lot of other what they call FOBs, forward operating bases, that are much smaller and much more vulnerable to attacks. And I was supposed to go to Afghanistan back in 2012, but I broke my leg, so I couldn't go, unfortunately. But anyways, the point of saying all that is to say that I think every military member has thought about the fact that they may be called upon to die, essentially. Not the military is not trying to kill you, but they may put you in a situation where death is a possibility, where it isn't a potential outcome. And because of that, you have a lot of people who are so stressed that they end up taking their own lives. The military has, I think they say 22 veterans a day on average commit suicide. So there's a lot of things that go into the military lifestyle and the stress that it puts under you. And because of that, a lot of the people in the military end up with a very dark sense of humor. So like we joke about a lot of really terrible things because in the reality, like you said, we may be called upon to die for one another at some point. And I think one of the things that's cool about that is, well, cool is not a great word to say, but one of the things interesting about that is you also start to understand people at a more like foundational level, that it's not that you're Republican, you're Democrat, you're a dude from Alabama, you're a fan of this team, whatever, like the things that we try to like put upon people, that you still would serve, you're serving next to this person. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to some of those choices you may have to make, none of that matters. You're a human being. You're a person who's out here trying to do something, and I'm trying to do something. And if it came to it, we may have to make some tough decisions, and you may save my life, I may save yours. And so you feel that connectedness, but it also at the same time, you have a lot of, like you said, it's a family, and families fight. Families fight all the time, and that is no different in the military. You have tons of infighting because of that. But you, at the end of the day, most of the time you get through it and you are able to come out the other side and focus on the mission and focus on what's really important, with some understanding that those things that we really pick at each other about aren't nearly as important what we're actually trying to accomplish.